Hey everybody, my name's Charles, welcome back. Just a quick shed update, and I'm trying to contain some more, I've got some other news coming, and I'm just kind of trying to keep my thoughts in check. So not much has happened out here in the shed recently. I have not done the drywall yet, well, the spackle. I have installed a SimpliSafe security system though. So there's a keypad there, there's a monitoring thing up yonder. I also have a smoke alarm. Smoke alarms are good, especially when you're dealing with a bunch of stuff like this. And then cameras as well. Now, I'm not sponsored by SimpliSafe. I actually purchased it myself when I was looking for something that would give me a decent monitored solution. They also had some promos going, so not only did I get like a door chime and the smoke detector, which is all encompassed, but also the camera was free, thrown in, that sort of thing. And I can obviously expand it with like an outdoor camera if I so choose. Now, there are videos out there that say, oh, I can bypass that with a jar of baby oil and a pickle. Well, that's great, but I do also have multiple monitoring solutions. It's not the only one I have. There are other cameras and other things in here, so I do have that. Now, they always say don't advertise what you have. Well, that's one thing I have, but I'm not going to bother getting into the others because that defeats the fun. Mainly, it's more for my own peace of mind with the smoke alarm. That's kind of the big one. Granted, I don't expect anything to go up in flames, but electronics, it can happen. Next big thing in here, well, let's go small things first. So small thing, I got my track lighting in. Did put that in. Now the bulbs that I've got in there are actually LED RGB bulbs. I've just got them on kind of a warm white. And as you can see, I have some prized artwork from a Miss Pam Beasley, AKA Pam from The Office. I bought one of the reproduction photos, threw it in a frame, put it up on there because I am a fan of The Office, and I just kind of thought it was fun. So we did that. I did receive the Ethernet adapter from Starlink. Still am waiting on that mount. I don't get it. I know the shortage affects a lot of things. I would have expected it to affect electronic bits, chips and whatnot. But come on, a stamped piece of aluminum. How can you not ship that to me yet? So I'm still waiting on that. Once I've got that and the ground thaws out, not thaws out, dries out. It's really wet. Then we'll get the dish relocated onto the end of the shed where it's supposed to be. We'll get the wire run over into the backside of this panel the proper way, and then we can actually worry about hooking that up and putting the modem in there. Speaking of the panel, I'm going to redo this. I don't not like the patch panel or anything like that. Like all this stuff's fine. I do need to figure the wiring out here. But anyway, long story short there, I've decided I don't like how I have this set up. And I think I hastily threw it together. I didn't really put a lot of thought into it. So the way this runs now, this black line down here comes into this router, and it effectively turns my home network into a second network out here. So I have two separate network IDs because this router is putting off its own. So I think what I'm actually going to do is basically take this line directly into the splitter switch. It's called a switch. And then that way, everything out here will effectively be on the same network as everything in the house. So things like my Plex server will now play direct instead of streaming. File sharing is easier, stuff like that. I don't run into needing extra firewalls and port forwarding and double net this and that and the other thing. I will still keep this wireless router because I like having Wi-Fi in here. But instead of having it feed into the router first and then the switch, it'll feed into the switch and then out to the router basically. And I'm gonna try to see if I can set this up. I don't know if this model will do it as Wi-Fi hotspot only. The other option I have, and I'm looking into this too, is to just basically run a Wi-Fi hotspot up here. Still some logistical things. Kind of nice that I don't have the drywall tape up yet because I can actually take this wall panel down, this one right here, and fish a wire up and put the hotspot right here on the ceiling, and that would be fine. So that's down the road. What else? Oh, so yeah, let's go back to the bigger stuff. First things first, no more plastic on the doors. It's gotten warm enough where there's no need for plastic on the doors. I don't know why I'm talking so loud. I'm very excited about today. No more plastic on the doors. We do still have up behind this empty box, we've got the Starlink router. That's kind of up there just chilling. And then I've got the cable is kind of wrapped up and just kind of feeds out the door for now. But the reason the plastic is off the door is because there's no more racing rig. You can see I've got the flight rig moved over closer to the PC, which is, yeah, but no more racing rig. This is just an extra computer that I bought off somebody. They were buying a new one and asked if I had any use for it. I said, I'll give you a couple $100. Why not? Help out a friend, and I can always use it for something. Possibly a NAS storage device or something. But yeah, the racing sim is gone. I sold it last weekend before. It's been a week or two. Sold it to a gentleman. He came, picked it up, and it's just easier to load it into his van out these side doors. So as the weather is warming up and I don't need to have all the air infiltration completely blocked off, that's kind of what happened. Full disclosure, I did sell it for a loss. I sold it for about 3/4 of what market value would be. And by market value, I mean what it would cost to build it again brand new from scratch, which was a little over $3,000. So I sold it for $2,400 cash on the spot. It took us 4 times to count it because bills. So it's gone. Now I did keep the computer because that's going to run the flight sim. So I decided to use the money from the sale of the racing rig to put more towards learning how to fly. I really do want to get into this. I am enrolled in online ground school for my private pilot certificate. I'm going to do a completely separate video on that about how that goes. Now I've got 1 more week and then I take my final for them. Once that final has been taken and passed, then I receive my endorsement, which then allows me to go take my FAA written exam whenever I find time to do that. So, yep, I've been going more into the flying stuff. I bought an iPad mini, whatever the new one is, the 2021 version, because reasons. Now I have my full-size iPad, which is not out here currently, I don't think, but I have a leg, what's this thing called? A strap, right? So my larger iPad, my iPad Air 4, has a case by Pivot. So it's a pretty hefty case and it's got a really neat mounting system. Come over here and just kind of peek real quick at this clamp. This is one of their, now this is mounted on a RAM mount that they sell, but this clip on the end, the case actually slides in and locks, and it's a really nice design. All their accessories use that same mount, so I can actually use my leg strap, which has the same mount, and just slide that right onto it. However, a full-size iPad is almost double the size as that iPad mini. My plan, when I actually start the flying part of my training, is to do so in a Cessna, which is a fairly small plane. And while having a kneeboard is great, if I decide to go the electronic route at any point, now I want to learn, paper style, I want to learn old school first, but eventually I will transition over to using this with ForeFlight and other things. I figured having a smaller, fully featured tablet, this iPad mini is basically my iPad Air 4 in a smaller package. Having that on my leg is going to allow more room available than running a full-size iPad. That said, I did pick up some other goodies in that regard. For example, this new aviation radio. And I just kind of find it fun to just sit here. Now, I'm not very close to a major airport. I have a small airport that's near me, not a lot of traffic, but every once in a while, I leave it on during the day and I let it sit here on the common channel, and every once in a while you'll hear somebody coming in, and that's just kind of fun. I've started buying other stuff for it. For example, a logbook. This came in today. This is a traditional kneeboard, right? So it's just an electric or a Velcro elastic strap that goes around it, and then you would keep a notepad and charts and things like that right on this. So that would be pretty handy. And again, I want to learn that way for instruction's sake, and then I'll transition over. The gentleman that I'll be training from here is he's kind of an old-timey guy, I think, and I want to make sure I learn everything I can in that avenue. I have picked up some other stuff too, such as these this flight computer and this little plotter guy. Now those actually I've had for about a week or so now, but the radio came in brand new. Oh, and there's one other thing I did. This is, oh, they gave me a nice full color catalog. That's kind of neat. So this is where I purchased my kneeboard and my my logbook through, because I was purchasing something else, and that is, wow, this box is bigger than I thought. Hang on one second. Okay, so the other thing that I bought is this guy. Now, this is by far the single most expensive pair of earphones I have ever purchased. Not even close. These are brand new. They're not refurbished. Some of the sites, it was hard to get a hold of these things, so I did manage to find them. These things retail for about $1,100, just a shade under. Active noise canceling. These are the cream de the cream top of the heap as far as aviation headsets go, especially as far as general aviation is concerned. Jet pilots, they have a Bose option that is actually like an in-ear style, and it's much lighter, but in a jet cockpit, there's a whole lot less air. So noise, a lot less noise. So for general aviation, piston-driven airplanes like a Cessna, Piper, whatever, these things are supposed to be about as best as you can get. So I bit the bullet. Now, to be fair, I could have bought an $85 pair from Amazon that, by all rights, has really great reviews. By everything I've read and watched, they're supposed to be very, very good headphones for 85 bucks. If you just go on and look for aviation headset and then just search by low to high price, you'll find them. I forget who makes them. I forget what their price is. I forget what the cost, but they're about 85 bucks. I want to say there's a Dash 200 something in the name, but I couldn't swear to it. And I could have just bought those. But what I wanted to do was hold myself accountable and make sure I didn't just decide, okay, yeah, I finished the ground course, but I'll get to it when I can. By investing the money in this and the stuff. Now, I don't need the radio for training or anything like that. I just wanted to have it. But like investing in a nice headset like this is kind of a way to kind of kickstart myself, kind of hold myself accountable to making sure I follow through with this, because I've invested in this, and then in conjunction to investing in that, it's also an investment in myself. So I did that. I haven't played with them yet. I literally just got home because it's been a really long day, and I have another, what's the word I'm looking for? Is there a word bigger than huge? There probably is. I'm going to go with huge. So if you've watched this shed project from start to finish, or start to now, I guess I should say, started out as bare shell, and we did some, framing work, well, unframing really. We put up some insulation, we put up some drywall, and we put some electric in, and we wired things, and it's what I would consider to be, basic building, right? Nothing crazy, nothing outrageous, just, basic stuff. Like, this is just normal. But the project coming up, well, it's not going to be quick. It's not going to be easy. It's certainly not going to be cheap in the long run. But it's coming, and I'm not going to spoil it today, because I'm actually going to put this video up. I'm just recording this off the cuff. I'm going to throw it up tonight just to get us out here. Tomorrow, Sunday, April 3rd, and this isn't like a late April Fool's joke. This is legit. The papers have been signed. The money has been paid. This new project is bought and paid for. Now, there's still a little bit of time left because there's still more paperwork that has to be done. There's other things that have to happen before I can actually take over this project, but it's paid for. It's ready to go. So tomorrow I'm going to get up in the morning, and we're going to go take a sneak peek, and I'll just give you a very short peek then as to what the next project is. I also think that it's going to warrant a whole different strategy. So a little bit bigger than a shed, not only in scope and grandeur, but difficulty. So I guess I have like ADHD when it comes to hobbies, or ADD, or some bunch of initials. I have that when it comes to hobbies, that I just can't stop finding something to keep myself occupied with. So shed's still going. I still have my sails for my boat, which is going in the water sometime in the next couple of weeks. So like, I've got to worry about that. The shed, I do need to get this stuff taken care of. The weather is finally starting to change. Even this week, it got down into the teens again this beginning of the week. But we do need to get this stuff all drywall compounded, which will be happening probably sometime in the next month, a month and a half. I have time off of work, not after this week, but next week I have 4 weeks off. I'd like to spend a lot of them on the water and relaxing, but there will be some time spent down here getting this stuff up. Not for any other reason other than keeping bugs out. That's pretty much it. The less there is for flies and bees and spiders and who only knows what else to come in. Yeah, so that will get done at some point. Has to get done very soon. And now the funny part is I'm going to do all that, but yet I've still got little tiny gaps in the door. I still haven't figured this out yet. I don't know, but I'm going to have a lot of time on my free hands to do it. A lot of free time on my hands to do it. So that's fun. Mini split's working great. Cat loves it. So, yep, anyway, that's a quick 15-minute update as to what's going on and all the little mini projects that are leading up into a very, very big project, which is coming up, but you'll see that tomorrow. Thanks for watching.